The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom $70 DLC people are looking incredibly bad right now because the recent trailer for The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom showed off a variety of new elements, features, gameplay mechanics, and more that simply just couldn't be added via a patch in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, because we got that with the Champions Ballad DLC, and it's nothing like we're seeing here. So many cool additions, so many things to talk about. Heck, not even enough time to get it all in. We were streaming all day, so I wanted to talk about in a concise video, putting together 10 different things that I find incredible about this sequel and what it does. So I want to first start off with, yes, the graphics aren't necessarily way above what we saw with Breath of the Wild, but I think that it's much cleaner. I think the graphics and the performance is better from what we've seen even in the trailers. You can tell that the draw distance is better. It looks like it's going to be more seamless. It's not like it's going to lag at any point. It looks like it's all running pretty smooth, 30 frames per second. So everything seems to be solid with The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And considering how massive this game is, that's absolutely a good sign that there wasn't hitches and problems in that trailer. Plus, some areas based on where you were looked absolutely incredible. Maybe when they didn't have to render everything else on the ground when you're high up in the sky. So I think that this is fantastic what they've shown here. Next up, fighting with your allies. This is something that I really like. They showed some really weird things where you can maybe maintain a militia or something like that, a local militia, and fight against Ganon's army in type of turf wars or turf battles or different type of raids on outposts. I absolutely love it. Plus, you're also fighting with the different races of Hyrule. You have Gorons there. You also have some of the champions, Sidon, maybe certain special missions that you can go. Maybe it's a list of different things, or it's story missions as well. There's really cool elements that's in this game. Even with a Rito, and you have the outfit on, and you're going through a different like sky dungeon or temple. It's fantastic what they've done here. They're adding more, I would say, breathability to the overall gameplay. You're with someone else, you're with different people, you're actually fighting together at times. It's not so isolated, maybe like Breath of the Wild could feel. So I really love that they added in fighting with your allies, having different areas where that is a part of the gameplay. Really cool there. Next up, I want to talk about Ganon. Ganon looks absolutely incredible in this game. This is probably the best rendition of Ganon ever. His voice is incredible. Mr. Mercer doing a phenomenal job, but he just looks spectacular. The long locks, the buff physique, the radiating malice, everything just vibes. I think they probably spent a ton of time redesigning this Ganon. This Ganon fits this world and what's going on here with the rehydrated Ganon, and he's back and everything. So good to see that, and I think that Ganon is going to be one of the best things about this game. Next up, seamless open world gets even more seamless and better. And this kind of ties into the graphics as well, but this is also the game design. They had to construct and make this game to where when you're high up into the sky, let's say you get knocked down, there's no loading screen, there's no glitching, there's no hitching, there's no all of a sudden everything's just popping into place. It looks like when you're flying from the sky and you're going all the way down, everything is already rendered. Everything is seamless. I'm pretty sure there might be some pop in here or there as you get closer, but for the most part, it seems like it's incredibly well done. This takes world-class engineering, especially squeaking that out from the Nintendo Switch in order to get this done, because there are Xbox and PlayStation games that can't get a seamless world with this much verticality all the way in the air, going all the way down with all the different elements, with the vibrancy of that. They can't get that going in terms of what they want with the fidelity and the frame rate and everything. It's not easy to do with any game or any system, let alone with the Nintendo Switch going on its 7th year on the market. So this is incredible how they're able to make the best open world game of all time, in my opinion, Breath of the Wild, kind of make it look bad in comparison when it comes to The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Incredible there. But another thing that I want to talk about, it's a living game world. One of the cool things that I saw in this trailer is that the constructs and the natural enemies will attack each other. They will fight each other. It's not just like, okay, Link's the enemy, and then when they see him, they all gang up and fight him. If there is a Blue Chew, for example, and there is a construct, they're gonna fight each other. That's awesome. I love to see that they're doing stuff like that in the game, so it feels more believable in the game world, and not everyone has like this, okay, it's all against Link, right? Good, bad. It's like, hey, This is my programming. This is who I am. This is what I am over here. I'm this natural enemy. This is my territory. Absolutely love that. Also like the fact that some of the constructs are passive and programmed for daily menial tasks like chopping down a tree or maintaining the garden, it seems like they're awesome stuff as well. Next up, the boss battles and enemy variety. This was one of the main complaints with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and this has been addressed with Tears of the Kingdom. You see quite a bit of bosses, quite a bit of variety, and a lot of different things. Now, there is even some trailer footage, or more like not trailer, but actual footage from a commercial that was not in here that showed off even a little bit more. And you see some more variety with what they're doing with the enemies and with the bosses, and I love that. You see some enemies that are holding some of the bokoblins. You see some of the bokoblins on top of stone golems. Then you can get up on your own ultra hand fuse thing and fight them. You see different variety. You see mini bosses. You see everything in this game when it comes down to it. Crazy good designs for them. The bosses look cool. I think that they look very believable in that world. I love it. The variety and the quality is just there. You can just tell based on these small snippet, and I'm pretty sure there's a ton more enemies and different things that Nintendo did not show us to avoid these spoilers, because they are avoiding those spoilers. Now, next up, we talked about this before. We're going to talk about it again. The fuse ability still looks absolutely incredible. Some cool weapons were fused in that trailer, so I gotta talk about two of them that I thought was really cool, and that was the royal sword with the shield. So it's like a great sword with a royal shield. They fused that together. That's probably gonna get you crazy amount of durability and good amount of attacking power. Link hit him with that counter and it blocked to get that nice spark slow-mo and everything. I absolutely love that. That is going to give so much variety within the gameplay. It's going to be nuts finding all these different weapons and fusing them together, seeing what is the best beast tier defensive weapon, what is the best offensive DPS that I can get, what is the best way to fight certain types of enemies, how is the fastest way to get it done, what can I do to fuse this, how about if I throw it at the enemy, how much damage do I do here. There's going to be battle tactics after battle tactics with this fuse, and I talked about this before saying, hey, wait till we see some more of the cooler looking weapons, because some people were complaining, oh well, I don't want to fuse a bunch of rocks and stones and all that together with my cool weapons. Well, no, you can fuse really cool weapons together with other cool weapons. So that's the best part. Even a shield with the sword, it looks really dope. So I think that this is going to be high level strategy, especially for like the master mode and some of the tougher stuff that I know that's going to be in this game. Now, another thing here with the fuse, the bow and the fire ruby. This was super cool. I absolutely loved it. It looked so dope to see that, and I'm wondering what that actually does. It looked like a bow with a ruby and also fire as well. I'm guessing it explodes the enemy on impact. It just like shatters and explodes them with that. Very cool as well. I love this type of variety that you just didn't see in Breath of the Wild. The whole gameplay flow and structure is fundamentally changed by fusing. You are a literal mobile walking blacksmith and also upgrader of your weapons. You can upgrade, you can fix all of that on the fly using the environment or using the weapons that you already have to fuse in. It creates a whole different combat flow and gameplay. Trust me when I say that this will not feel like Breath of the Wild, considering how weapons broke and how you can't do some of these things. It's going to turn your whole environment into your canvas, into your tool to fuse, to go, or what you already have to fight enemies. Love it, love it, love it. And they showed off even better fuse mechanics here in the trailer. Now, next up, the story. The story looks to be beefier and better than ever. Goodness gracious, we found out why it's now called Tears of the Kingdom. There's actual tears that are the power that they need. Sidon has it, Champions has it. Are we going to find new champions to give these tears to work together with Link, Princess Zelda, the Zonai, and more to beat Ganon? It looks like Ganon's stronger and bigger and badder than ever, and they're going to need every single bit of help. But the story looks nuts because at some point Link needs to find Zelda. They get separated, obviously, at that point when they're underground there. Then there's the Zonai, there's the underground places. There is just so many weird new people that are involved. There's lore involved with this. This looks like it's going to be an involved absolutely stunning story because of what they even just showed in that trailer. More expansive than The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild by a long shot, more intrigue, more lore, more deep meaning. So I cannot wait till I see this because it is going to be awesome. The returning characters, some of them are coming back as well that are in the mix, new characters as well. How can you not look at that trailer and be intrigued as all heck about what they showed off with the tears, the tear imbued on the Princess Zelda, and also the tears that they have with power as well, man. Super cool. But next up, we got to talk about the sky dungeons and caves. This is just something that blew my mind. This is the variety that I'm talking about with The Legend of Zelda. When you say it's an exploration game, when you say it's a true open world game, these are the things that really contribute to that. Look at the variety when it comes to what they're doing. It's like, yeah, shrines and all that, we get it, you didn't like it. Okay, we have sky temples, sky dungeons, sky palaces. You can go, there's zero G parts, there's bubble movement where you got to go in that type of way. There's dynamic locations. You have one where you're flying with the Dorito. There's so many different ways that you're going to be able to solve puzzles and do things in sky temples or in underground dungeons. I mean, there is the evolved way. This is not just a traditional, you go here, you get item, you do this, you do that, it's linear. Okay, you can't do that until you finish it, then you're stopped. You got to get through that. It is a new evolved way of doing dungeons and puzzles, and I talked about this before, and it looks like they're executing on it with these dynamic locations. Go and come as you please and get them done in your type of way at your pace. So very good here. Love what they showed off with the puzzle and exploration parts, with the sky and also with the caves, the underground. The minecart part was absolutely incredible as well. Love it, love it, love it. But another thing that we have to discuss here is the game variety. This is what makes The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom so incredible. The wingsuit. There is a wingsuit, and it looks like you're diving down potentially into the Yiga clan based off of some of the screenshots that I've seen as well. Comparison, you're diving down there with lasers. They've upped the ante so that wingsuit gives you more control over where you want to go and where else you're going to be able to go with that wingsuit as well. Very cool there. The Ultra Hand is as universally awesome as I've ever seen it in that trailer. You have a carriage where you're taking people. That's probably one of the beginning missions where you have to take these people somewhere and build a carriage so they get you to learn how to use the Ultra Hand correctly. Absolutely love what they're doing with that. You're going to be able to create all sorts of stuff. They showed up a big stupid looking mech that you're fighting against, a bokoblin on a golem or a bokoblin outpost on a golem. That is so cool what they're done with the Ultra Hand here. It's really going to be a custom creator off. You're going to see people create all sorts of crazy things that you do not have the skill to create, and then you're going to be creating things that you're going to say, okay, I can create a better version of what that person just created. It is going to be nuts online with all the different videos and stuff with the Ultra Hand. That is one of the most unique and innovative mechanics in this game, and trust me when I say this, that Ultra Hand is going to keep this game alive for so long as people do new things, find new abilities, find new ways to use certain items. It's going to be super cool with that, but also the activities as well. I think the activities just going around with what the game has, it seems like there's more variety with the mission structure and what you're doing. At one point you're up in the sky and you're exploring, another point you're inside a cave, another point you're using the ascend ability to go to the top, another point you're kind of going over here with this militia. The variety and the activities seem to be far more varied than just kind of wandering around and doing shrines, then finding certain areas, then doing the main story parts. Looks like you're going to be able to do a lot of different things with these things that you're giving you, the tools like the wingsuit and the Ultra Hand and everything else, the fusibility, but also with what they've just put into the game in terms of what other activities are available. Very good. This is the real deal to me. It is front runner, for me at least, my game of the year. This looks like it's going to surpass The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild in every single type of way, and this is exactly what I wanted to see from Nintendo. It didn't reveal too much, didn't spoil everything. We don't need 5 million hours of gameplay. Just give us a little bit of teases here and there. It's 1 month before the launch of the game. This is all we need. We don't need it anymore. Everyone's hyped. Everyone's pre-ordering it. It's #1 on Amazon. It's going to shoot up the #1 on the eShop. It's #1 on so many different places in terms of physical pre-orders at certain game stores like GameStop and stuff. Everyone's hyped. This is the way you get it done. Good stuff to Mr. Aonuma, Nintendo, the team, Monolith Soft helping out, and everybody involved. This is how you get it done. The marketing team over here as well. Love what they've done here. But what do you guys think about The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom? What are your most incredible things about the game? What are you looking forward to the most of playing? Make sure you check out my previous videos where I talked about The Legend of Zelda and also more right here on the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you for the next video. Peace.